Oh, hey guys. Let me turn down my music real quick. Alright, so today we are in the shop. It's raining. We're expecting, I don't know, they're saying 7 inches of rain, which is going to make for some real fun later. And I am working on throwing together just a real quick, down and dirty chicken brooder. We've got chicks coming tomorrow, which is another problem in itself because if it floods, I got to figure out how to get out to go get them at the post office. So yeah, we'll figure that out. But today, the most important task is to figure out how to get this chicken brooder done. So I'm not a big fan of going and buying a bunch of high priced lumber because we all know how expensive lumber is right now, and having to like rebuild it from new stuff. So typically what we do when we build a chicken brooder is we take something that we've already got, we repurpose it, and we try to just use something we've got. So I was looking in the barn and remembered that we had some crates that we did a farm cleanup for a lady, a friend of ours. Her husband passed away several years ago, and she started having some theft on her farm, so she decided that she really just needed to clean it up. So we hauled a lot of stuff home, stuff we thought we could use. And in that, just so happened to be some of these crates. These crates, you can see, they're just plywood, basic crates. It's a little dirty, but we'll clean it up. So, I'm not gonna say where they probably came from, but you get the point. So take this crate and turn it into a chicken brooder and just kind of take you guys along with the process of how we do that and what all you need for a good chicken brooder. If you're not familiar with what a brooder is, we get these chicks and they're roughly about a day or two, maybe 3 days at the most old. And so they're still very fragile. They're very susceptible to a lot of things. So one of the biggest things you gotta make sure you got obviously is food and water, but you've also gotta make sure that they're staying warm and safe. So one of the ways we do this is we make a small box to put them in, and we will make a lid so it's predator proof. These will probably actually go up on our porch because it's so warm out still, and we can kind of keep a better eye on them. Our dogs will keep the cats away and the raccoons and all those things, so that's a plus. But I got to get lights in this. I've got to make a lid, put it in, cap it, and then we'll put bedding in it, their food, their water, and we may put a divider in it because we actually have what most people are familiar with is a meat bird, which is a Cornish rock cross coming. And then we also bought Cornish game hens, which is something new. They only take about 4 weeks to grow to full length, and then you're able to process them. So we wanted to try that just to see, you know, how they did, how big they got, what they dressed out at, if it's something that a smaller family would be able to eat, or if it's something that we just would enjoy. So the problems with using reused material sometimes is you gotta remove the nails or staples or any of that stuff. So therefore, I gotta pull all these out. See all these guys? This is where they've used a air stapler. So I want to show you real quick how to remove these. If you've ever taken trim down, baseboard, anything like that from your house, you'll run into these little guys right here. The best way to pull them out so you don't tear up the face of the trim or the board is take a pair of what we call dikes. Grab a hold of the nail, give a little pressure. It's gonna be hard to do one-handed, and twist it out, or pull up is really the best. Pulled up in this motion is better. What it does is it pulls the head, the nail, and all. Camera's probably not going to focus on that. Pulls it straight through, and it doesn't mar up the other side. So just a neat little trick. Just so that I can kind of get ahead and get going here. So I will kind of show you a few of the things that I did to kind of finish this up. It's got a few more things left to do. I got to get the bulb in it. I'm going to have to run to the hardware store to do that. Got to wire it up, get it up on the porch, and it's probably looking like I'm gonna have to make a second brooder because I don't think we can get all the birds that are coming in this one. So I've got another crate, and I will probably end up trying to come up with something similar. It's going to look different because I don't have everything that I had for this one. This lid here is off another brooder. I got to patch that hole, obviously, because that's where a heat lamp was at one time. And I'm not going to do the heat lamp the same way. I've obviously got to clean this up a little bit. Some zip ties in the corner. Wouldn't be a farm project without that. Again, like I said, we always try to reuse. Sorry, Katie, I just stepped on the dog. We always try to reuse stuff we've got. I happen to have these hinges, so those work for the door. We've got a nice door that'll swing up and sit up on its own, which is a plus. I was able to get all my areas patched. What you'll notice in here is this shelf. I don't know if any of you all are familiar with what's called a Ohio brooder. We use Ohio brooders when we put our chicks in the stall, but right now we can't do that. We've got some laying hens that we just got in the stall because they've not been put out on the field yet. So they're still in the stall, and I don't want to move them because it's going to rain lots for the next couple days, and that would just be a mess and not fair to them. So instead of throwing the chicks in the stall like I normally would do, we have I'm making an Ohio brooder style in the brooder, if that makes any sense. So that shelf is really just a heat deflector. I'll end up putting a bulb right here. So I'll have to get a mounting plate from the hardware store that'll take a lamp bulb. I'll mount that inside there, run the electric cord out the side, and be able to plug it up. What's so great about an Ohio brooder is that it leaves space to where the chicks can run in or out. They're not constantly in the heat. So if you get a warm day, you know, guys, we're in Eastern Kentucky. You know, we may get one day, you know, we got some weather coming in right now that's going to be in the 70s from the hurricane, and then next week I'm sure it's going to be back in the 90s, high humidity, all that. You got to be able to give them a space that they are able to get away from the heat. So that's the idea behind the Ohio brooder, is they can come in and out as they please. They can go next to the heat if they're cold, or they can get out and have some air. So that's why I decided to build it that way. Like I said, I still got to run to the hardware store, still got to get a few things to finish this project up, and I'll probably be making a second one once Janelle takes a look at it and probably sees what I see. Then we'll get it all cleaned out. We will get the shavings in the bottom, get the light hooked up, and we'll show you when we put the chicks in. So be pretty cool. But guys, I just wanted to show you real quick about how we take some, you know, what otherwise is scrap wood, and are able to you know, create something. So I'm not a big fan of just throwing stuff away. This was all scrap lumber or scrap crates, scrap hinges, you know, and we're able to do what we need to do. And you know what the plus is? If they're in it for a few weeks and the whole thing goes to crap and the bottom's rotten, just throw it in the dumpster, and then we feel like we got our use out of it. So alright guys, so this is day 2 of the scrap, frugal, whatever you want to call it, chicken brooder build. I was able to get to the hardware store, get the electrical stuff I need to get the light. I'm going to show you that real quick. Then we're going to get the bedding in here because our chicks came this morning, or at least part of them. We got another shipment coming maybe tomorrow. And I added this bulb. So like I was talking before about an Ohio brooder, the bulb actually goes in. And as you remember earlier, there was a shelf right here. Well, that shelf will go back in. So got it on a little pull cord, so it's easy to get to without having to get down in there or a switch or anything like that. Pull it on, heat light bulb comes on, shelf will be there, and what that does is it helps trap some of the heat, and then that way the birds can run. That way the birds can run all over the box and be able to get away from the heat when they need to. So we're gonna get the birds in here, working against the clock right now because we got to get them out of these boxes and get them fed and watered. So we hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe, like the video for more content like this, and we'll see you soon.